Welcome to the Sarah Scoop Show. It's time to get the scoop with Sarah. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Sarah Scoop Show. I am so excited to have Amanda here with us today. Amanda, thank you so much for joining me and being ready to share the scoop on your new movie.
My pleasure.
Let's start. You've done a lot of projects. I loved you in Suits, by the way, and I know you've done a lot of things, but your newest adventure is the Hallmark movie. So do you want to kind of break it down and tell us all about Project Christmas Wish and what it's about in your role?
Sure. My character's name is Lucy Keller, and it was formerly a different last name, but for this point forward, it is Lucy Keller. And she has the Christmas spirit in her heart 365 days a year. She's really a lovely, vibrant woman, but come December 1st, it is just Christmas bonanza for Lucy. And part of that is a project she calls Project Christmas Wish, which is where she accepts any and all wishes from the people of Elmhurst into a little box where they submit them. And after a couple of days, she pulls out, the wishes and does her best to grant every single wish that is submitted. And it's her passion project. It's what she loves to do. It's what she lives for all year long.
What a fun role to get to play, to bring so much happiness. What was it about this role that really drew you into it?
I think it was just such a wonderful gift to be asked to do this role now in particular. I think that this year we could all use a little Christmas love and the spirit of Christmas. And I was so excited to get to embody that. In addition to the fact that I have an infant, I have a young son, and it was so lovely to do something fun and lighthearted, and there's a wonderful comedy element to Project Christmas Wish, and every day going to work with some great people was just a soul booster for me.
And you mentioned now is such a good time to just bring a happiness type of movie to people. And so this comes out December 20th. And of course it is based around Christmas, but what do you hope that people will get from watching the movie around the holiday time or just in general?
Oh, I hope people just get a warm, fuzzy feeling more than anything, really. I hope it just is an hour and a half. I have no idea what the final edit time will be, so don't quote me on that. But, an evening of just exhale, just an evening where people can just enjoy and be happy and maybe have a cup of cocoa and sit back and feel the Christmas spirit.
And how is it being part of a Hallmark movie? I feel like this time of year, it is just everyone is obsessed with Hallmark. They want more, more, more. What is that like for you to get to play such a fun role and reach out to, the Hallmark audience at this time of year?
Well, it's funny because I've done projects that I've been lucky enough to do projects that have gotten a recognition in different fields. But the last Hallmark movie I did, and then this one when it was publicized, it seems like I get more people reaching out to me excited by Hallmark movies, in particular Hallmark Christmas movies, than really anything I do. So that's always really heartwarming when people, friends, family, or people who have seen me on TV or in movies get so excited about a future project, and I get to share that with them. I have this unique perspective with my occupation that I get to share it. It's not just for me. I get to share what I do with other people. And the fact that there are people who I may have never met who get excited about that is really special.
So I wanted to ask a few questions from the fans. They wanted to know, what was it like getting to act with Travis in this movie along with the cast?
Travis is, he's just as wonderful as you want him to be. I don't have any juicy gossip to give you about Travis. He is as delightful off camera as he is on camera. He is kind and generous and smart. And he brought his dog Karen to work every day. So he actually didn't need to be kind, generous, or smart. Just bringing the dog to work every day was like enough to put him in my really good books. And he's just a lovely person to spend 10 to 12 hours a day with. So I lucked out with that. And there's a young girl named Avery who plays his daughter, and she was an absolute delight. And I am certain we will be seeing a lot more of her in the future.
Oh, it's so fun hearing when cast members, like, there's just a good Oliver vibe around the movie and being on set and all of that. It's fun to hear that as well. That's what we would guess from watching, but I guess you never know. You guys are actors.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would love to, not in this particular, I would love to give you some juicy tidbit. There's nothing, he's just so great.
No, I love that. Another one that people want to know is, what was your all-time favorite Hallmark movie aside from the ones you're involved in?
Oh gosh, I'm really bad with names. Um, I think, well, at the risk of sounding totally cliche, I've watched a couple with friends in it, with friends in them, that it's really fun to watch friend. And I think you've actually had Ashley Williams on before.
Yeah.
She did a movie a few years ago that I found absolutely hysterical and adorable, and I'm forgetting the name of it. I've worked with Lacey Chabert before, and she's amazing. But I think nothing really tops a good Hallmark Christmas movie.
Yeah, and one other question was, the character that you played in the film, how much are you alike and how much are you different? Like, did you connect with her in the same kind of personality traits, or, my guess is yes, but in your own words, like, how are there similarities between you and
Well, we
your
look a lot alike. Um, I'm not quite as much of a Christmas holic as she is, I guess. I'll say for instance, I don't grant everyone's wish. I wish, I wish that I had the time or the energy to to be Lucy. I mean, she was absolutely delightful in that regard. To know that that you bring so much happiness. Unfortunately, I am not the grantor of all things Christmas wish. I think she and I probably have a similar sense of humor and uh, similar energy when it comes to wanting to do anything to make friends and family happy. So probably those things I have in common with her.
There's so many comments coming in. I don't know if you can see them, but people are like,
They're happening really quickly. So
yeah, and I'm trying to scroll back to them, but there's like some.
what are you drinking, Amanda? I can answer that. Coffee.
Perfect.
How amazing is Rick Hoffman to work with? Okay, I can read that quickly. He's amazing. He is one of my all-time favorite human beings in general, and the fact that I got to work with him is just icing on a Rick Hoffman cake. This is like rapid fire. Sorry, I don't need to respond to the energy.
I'm usually able to keep up with the questions from people, and I'm like, Amanda, you've got it. Like, they're flying in at you today.
Oh, that's nice.
One thing that I was curious is, how did you even get involved with acting in the first place? Was this something you started as a child? Has it always been your passion?
When I was younger, even before high school, but I'd say I used to dance. I was a ballet dancer, and so I took ballet lessons probably from the age of 3 or so on. But I also did musical theater. So I did stage productions, which is very different from acting on camera. But I have always kind of had that bug in me. And so I think maybe around, excuse me again, around high school age is when I realized to be a ballet dancer, you kind of have to commit to that completely. But I was always given the most dramatic of all ballet roles. So if there was someone who was going to throw herself on the ground and roll around in agony in a balletic way, I'm your girl. And so it was really when I was dancing at San Francisco Ballet School, and that's when I got cast in Center Stage. And that's when I thought to myself, this is kind of what I knew I was going to do eventually. I just didn't know how I was going to get there. And also that I needed to finish out my ballet life before I committed completely to acting.
And do you have advice for people that also want to be in the entertainment world? I know it's probably very
Sure.
competitive, and I'm sure you, as we get to see your success, but I'm sure there was a lot of other things that maybe you auditioned for that you didn't get, or
I
things like
still audition for things and don't get them. I mean, I audition for a lot more than I get. I audition for probably for every 10 things, I I get one. You know,
that.
that's the nature of the business. And that's actually being very generous to myself. But that is how a lot of artistic fields go, right? I mean, they're very competitive, and we're just very lucky to have the opportunity for the one out of the 10. Um, I think my advice for people who want to become actors is get in a class,
Mhm.
take a class. You don't just fall into an opportunity and have success. You might have that opportunity, but going forward from that one moment, you won't have a sustained career if you don't have an understanding of what you're doing and an appreciation for what you're doing. And I think what helped me most were the classes I took when I first moved down to Los Angeles.
And one thing that keeps being a constant comment is just speaking on your role as Katrina.
No,
If you want to just talk about that, I know there's been like a ton of comments like they want more of Katrina, but I don't think she's coming back. So I'm like, I don't know if you could
sorry.
talk about playing that role and kind of, what you enjoyed about that. I think that would probably sum up a lot of these.
Okay, sure. Gosh, Katrina Bennett. Where do I begin with Katrina Bennett? She's fun. I really enjoyed Katrina Bennett. Um, a really fun little tidbit is that I auditioned for Suits. Speaking of 10 to 1, I auditioned for Suits way more than, oh, at least 10 times before Katrina Bennett came along. So she actually, and I don't want to speak for other people, but I believe that Aaron Korsh and another writer named Ethan, Aaron Korsh is the creator of Suits and showrunner. I believe they created Katrina with me in mind. And I don't want to, speak on their behalf, but I think that's the case. And that's largely because they had seen me so much in auditions. I don't know if they were like, oh my gosh, let's just write something for her so we don't have to see her audition anymore. Or if they knew, I'm hoping they knew that they wanted me on the show in some capacity and that Katrina would work. She actually started as just a 3 episode character, and that's what my contract was. So I'm really lucky that they liked me enough to keep me around for 8 seasons, and the last 2 seasons I was a regular. And what was really fun about Katrina is she started out as this very, guarded, uncomfortable person, and she sort of morphed into somebody who I think people could relate to more, at the very least empathize with. And it was a joy to play her.
I love that. And I think it's cool to hear, you've done such a, in my opinion, I mean, maybe not, but I feel like you've done a diverse behind, like many roles that are very different. And now we get to see you in this fun holiday movie. What else do you have hopes for playing in the future?
Oh gosh, I've been so lucky the last few years, really, with different roles, and so I think going forward, my project Christmas wish would be to just be able to bringing it back,
Yeah.
um, would be to really continue with diverse characters. I mean, it's so fulfilling for me as an actor to get to play somebody who I don't necessarily relate to, who I have to kind of fit into the skin of and find um, something special about to try to bring forward to viewers. And I think that was something that was really fun with Katrina, which is that, you know, how she over time you could see the reason she was the way she was, and it was sort of these cracks in her veneer that came forward, you know, eventually in further seasons. And then I've seen some comments about Cassie, and she
That was a lot.
was
Yeah, you have some very memorable roles. Like I love a lot of these chats I do. People are just kind of interested in what you're doing, but a lot like people have just loved your previous roles. So I'm excited for them to see this one. But it's cool that they still remember you from all of these other ones too.
oh well, Cassie had some memorable moments.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, that was another one. How lucky am I to have been able to portray Dr. Cassandra Rayleigh? That was um, kind of one of she and Katrina, I would say, are sort of roles of a lifetime that I was lucky enough to trick people into casting me.
What about this movie, opposed to with so many like holiday Hallmark movies? You know, a lot of them have the same type of storyline. What is it about this movie that you think people should definitely take the time to watch?
Oh gosh, there's some interesting elements to this particular movie that I haven't personally seen in other Hallmark movies. Um, my character's life history is different from anything I've seen in a Hallmark movie, which I'm not going to spoil. I'll let people um, check that out for themselves. I think the dynamic between and the uh, I don't want to use the word relationship because I don't necessarily mean romantic relationship, or do I? Of Travis's role, Lucas, and Lucy is different from any other Hallmark movie I've seen. And then, if for nothing else, tune in to see little sweet little Avery, who plays Max. My goodness gracious, is she adorable.
I love that. And I know that we've got a few questions here too, just about kind of your own personal life. So, as a mom, what is it like now being a mom? Because I know you kind of mentioned that when we started the chat, and people are asking that as well.
Oh, what are they asking? Just my
Like,
sweet
what's
little.
the like? Yeah, just being a new. How old is your child?
His name is Patterson.
Patterson.
Um,
Cute.
Pat-
That's exciting.
Thank you. His name is Patterson, and he's 9 months old.
Okay, I thought he was really like pretty young. So how they're just kind of asking like what is it like being a new mom?
It's amazing. I love it. He is probably the most adorable thing I've ever witnessed in my entire life. He makes me smile and laugh in ways that I've never experienced before. We are currently at my parents' house in Honolulu. So these are not all my books. These are my father's books. I'm in his library right now.
So when people were asking what the names of the books were, I was like, oh, we don't have any
Guys, I
idea.
don't
We'll
know.
answer all
I don't know what the names of these books are because I haven't read most of these books. I don't see a single book here that I have read, to be honest. Yeah, but I'm sure I've read some of them at some point in my life. My father has definitely read all of them at least once. Um, but so I was just saying about Patterson that we're 2 hours earlier, so his sleep schedule is a little bit off right now, and he was waking up earlier than I wish he would wake up. And you know, I get up and I go over, and the second I lay eyes on him in the morning, it's like I would wake up every 5 minutes just to see that little smile looking up at me. And he gets so excited when he sees me looking down, and my heart just swells inside of me. I mean, he is the reason why I wake up in the morning, even if it's still dark outside, even if the sun has not even considered waking up yet. He is an amazing little boy.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love that. You can just tell you're just you're like glowing. I love that. Do you currently have any other projects in the works with Hallmark? I know that was another
No, I
question.
don't. I don't. I hope 2021 will bring some new projects with Hallmark. I would love that.
What did you enjoy most about making this movie in particular?
Um, I really loved the comedy element. I mean, I think that was one of I had a lot of really wonderful things that I enjoyed about this movie, but just reading the script prior to working on it, before I got to meet the lovely director or the producers or Travis or Avery, I only had the script, and from the moment I read the script, I kept looking up at my husband going, it's really funny. I really like it, and that was really nice to just jump into a project already enjoying it, before I even had all of the other things that I ended up liking so much as well.
And where did you film that?
In Winnipeg,
Oh,
Winnipeg,
okay.
Canada.
Yeah, the photos, just like, the photos we can see now are beautiful. It looks like a magical place.
And Burr.
Cold? Yeah, very cold.
Yeah. Yeah,
And,
Patterson got his first snowsuit in Winnipeg.
oh, so we got to see the real deal then. The coldness is real.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely real.
And what was it like then just on set? I feel like these Hallmark movies and they always just feel so magical when you're watching them and the scenery is always beautiful. Was that mainly like the natural scenery that you guys had there?
Yes, yes. But I also don't want to diminish from the set decoration
Yeah.
as well as the props and whatnot. They did a fantastic job. There is at the end of the movie, I don't think I'm spoiling anything, a Christmas Project Christmas Wish fundraiser, and during this fundraiser, it's a whole festival, and I actually recorded it because when we showed up, I mean, it was already a beautiful little town square with a gazebo and, a beautiful little park area. But they did such a sensational job setting up little twinkly lights going down a walkway and little booths for the festival. And they made it magical.
I love that. And Project Christmas Wish comes out December 20th, so everyone can
Yes,
tune in. We won't give any spoilers away, but just as kind of our final recap, because I really appreciate you've covered so much with us today, and I feel like we could keep asking you about the film, but I don't want to give anything away. So just kind of to wrap it up, I know we mentioned earlier kind of like the messages and everything, but just one final reason of why they should watch you in Project Christmas Wish.
well, I think if you could use a night of just forgetting the rest of the world for a couple of hours and for just being transported to a magical Christmas loving world, then tune in.
I love that. Thank you so much, Amanda. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. Like I mentioned, we're going to share this. We're all going to tune in and watch. And for people that do, want to keep following along, is the best way just to follow you on Instagram to keep up with your latest projects?
Absolutely. Please. Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Like I mentioned, we're going to watch it, and I hope you have a lovely holiday with your family.
Thank you. You too. And to everyone who watched, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching The Sarah Scoop Show. Head to sarahscoop.com for more.